Issue 6, Household Chores.
Yesterday, I spent 2 hours cleaning the kitchen from top to bottom. After supper, I said to my husband, "Let's wash the dishes before we go to bed so we can wake up to a beautiful clean kitchen." He said,
Fine.
Well, after supper, we looked at TV for a while, and I went to make a phone call. Next thing I knew, he had gone to bed. I opened the bedroom door and asked, "What about the dishes?" He hollered,
Get off my back! The world won't come to an end if you leave the dishes till tomorrow.
I was really steamed, but decided not to make a big thing out of it. I taped a note to the bedroom mirror saying, "Wake me when you get up and we'll do the supper dishes together before you go to work." When I got up the next morning, the note was gone and so was my husband. The kitchen was still a mess. I don't know whether to clean it up and pretend like nothing happened or drive like a madwoman to his office and dump the pots and pans on his desk. We both work full-time, and he promised when we married that if I kept my job, we would divvy up the housework 50-50. Well, it hasn't worked out that way.
Comprehension. 1. What did the writer do yesterday? 2. What did her husband promise to do after supper? 3. When she made a phone call, what did her husband do? 4. When she woke him up, what did he say? 5. What did she do last night instead of having a big argument with him? 6. What did her husband promise to do before they married?
Let's talk. One, do you think it is fair to divide housework equally if both husband and wife have full-time jobs? 2, if your wife had no outside job, do you think you should help her with housework? If not, why not? If so, what kind of chores should you help her with? 3, would you make your husband help you with the housework? 4, if your husband refused to help, what would you do? 5, are you willing to be a house husband if your wife made more money than you? 6, could you take pride in being married to a house husband?
Opinion samples. 1. Many women who work outside the home do all the housework because their hubby refuses to help. But as the number of working women increases, they naturally expect their husbands to help with the chores at home. Shopping, cooking, cleaning, doing dishes, and laundry, and even childcare must be equally shared. If not, busy wives who work won't be able to balance their time between job and house. Any wife who works outside the home has a perfect right to expect her husband to pitch in with mutual household chores. Question: what kinds of housework do you do on a regular basis?
2. Some people hold the following opinion. Even though a couple both work full-time and are equally tired when they get home, it is still the woman's job to do the cooking, cleaning, laundry, and childcare. Why? Because he earns twice as much money as she does. She should work at home to make up the wage differential. Question: do you think it's fair to have to do extra work just because one makes less money than one's partner?
Issue 6, Household Chores.
I'm tired of doing all the work around here. Let's share some of the chores around the house.
But when I get home from work, it's late and I'm tired. I just want to relax and go to bed.
But I work too, you know. But I end up being stuck with 2 jobs, one at home and one at the office.
What can I do about it?
You can start coming home a lot earlier and helping me.
But I make more money than you do, so my job is more important.
What difference does that make? If we weren't a 2-income family, what would we have? Do you just want me to quit and look after the house by myself?
No, of course not. And it's not just the money. We could get by on my salary. But I know you get a lot of satisfaction out of your profession. I wouldn't want to deprive you of that.
Then you'll help me?
Insofar as I can. What do you want me to do?
Why don't you cook 3 evenings a week, and I'll wash the dishes those nights. The other days, we'll switch tasks.
Okay, that sounds reasonable enough. I bet you didn't know I'm a pretty good cook.
I've heard you tell me that hundreds of times, but I've never seen you demonstrate.
All right, I'll start tomorrow. What else?
There's lots to be done. Cleaning the bathroom, washing the clothes, ironing, shopping, sweeping the floors, putting things away. Sometimes it seems endless.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Make a list of chores that have to be done every single day, and those that have to be done less often, once a week or whatever, and I'll draw up a schedule. We can talk about how to divide up the jobs so that it's even.
And then there are the ongoing projects, washing the windows, putting up new wallpaper, that sort of thing. There's no schedule really, but they all have to be done sooner or later.
Then write each of these down on a separate piece of paper, and I'll do the same thing. We'll put them all in a jar. When either one of us has some spare time, we'll draw one of the pieces of paper and do it.
That's a good idea. But we need to commit to spending at least 2 or 3 hours every week on these things.
It's a deal. But of course, there are some weeks when I just can't commit myself. You know how my job is.
If you can't, you can't. But then you should pay some kind of penalty. For every week that you don't spend on these chores, you have to both cook and clean dishes the same night.
Agreed. As long, of course, as you make the same commitment.
Okay, let's shake on it.
Questions. 1. What are they going to do about everyday chores? 2. What have they agreed to do about the irregular jobs around the house? 3. How would you solve a similar problem? Can you think of any other solutions?